Ukrainian artists once again found themselves on the periphery of a Ukraine controlled by former Communist Party leaders freshly repackaged as National Democrats. The disillusionment of the Ukrainian intellectuals stemming from this is expressed in the prose of the Vyssemdesiatniki, where the Ukrainian intellectual protagonist is frequently depicted as being different, or abnormal, or sick. Zabushko's польові дослідження, in many ways, is an extended rant exposing the various ills infecting all of Ukraine, more specifically the Ukrainian woman, and even more specifically the Ukrainian female intellectual. Incapable of coming to terms with her nation's cruel history and ignoring its present maladies, she becomes infected with the ills of her people and suffers from this. The artist applies art to this wound in hopes of eventually curing it. Now, this is the third excerpt you have there. A short course in psychology, the road to mental health. Find a reason, and the problem goes away. Why hasn't anyone thought of doing this with nations? You neatly psychoanalyze the whole national history and poof, you're cured. Literature as a form of national therapy. Not a bad idea. Too bad that we happen to have no literature. It's from Oksana Zabushko's novel. Zabushko often employs a jagged style which effectively portrays this raving madness overcoming a person submitting themselves to this dangerous task. In her novel, Zabushko attacks her nation's problems with aggression, undertaking sort of catharsis in order to rid her of pain. As she probes deeper and deeper in search of the roots of the evil that entangle her people, she herself becomes snarled by Russian imperial ambitions, the Ukrainian inferiority complex, and an all-encompassing, paralyzing fear that governs her people. Izdrik's Wozzeck is a novel in which sickness and pain figure heavily in defining oneself. During incessant interwoven scenes of non-action, the protagonist is shown to exist almost entirely within his mind and seems to require pain in order to make a connection with his body. Excerpt number 4. But return seemed inevitable. And return meant only pain. Only pain now. Pain now substituted for the whole world. The whole world was pain. He listened and found out that this was not pain at its best. Wozzeck tries to find an approach, a position through which the whole world would not be pain. Shifting through philosophical systems admixed with 20th century pop culture, trying them on for size, Wozzeck is unable to find a compatible ideal in this world, and as such has difficulty establishing his own being. The sickness of the Ukrainian intellectual artist is also manifested in the prose of the Vyssemdesiatniki when these artists are shown to be treading a path of self-destruction, usually abetted by the consumption of alcohol. For example, in the Brova's Burtek, the title character, who is a representative of this lost generation of late Soviet Ukrainian intellectuals, this character spends the last moments of his life in an intoxicated state, having drunk a fatal quantity of cognac. Self-destructive alcoholism is even more present in the prose of Andruchovich and in Moskaleць. The reader of Rekreacji, Andruchovich's first novel, is shown how one of the novel's young poets, Martofyak, had provoked his wife. This is number 5 in your handout. This is Marta Martofyak talking about her husband, this poet. He gave me an ultimatum. If I didn't go, he'd get dead drunk in Chotopia, shit drunk, raving drunk, drunk day and night. He would drink all he could get, throw up, and drink again until they brought him home all but dead. Marta does end up attending the festival, but Martofyak, along with his other poet buddies, nonetheless begin drinking as soon as they meet up, an activity that constitutes much of the action in the novel.